Hello, nerds. We have things a little darker today. It's a little bit later in the day, a little bit being about 8 hours after I normally film. This, though, if you're watching, you can see we have 4 full freaking pages of notes. It means we have a giant episode, and nothing is little for this. So we're just going to hit the intro and get into the news. Before we get into the news, guys, real quick piece of housekeeping. We will only have one episode of your week in Nerdom. Next week is my girlfriend's birthday on Monday. I know in the last one I said that Monday is not going to have an episode. We'll never have Week in Nerdom episodes on Monday. They are only on Tuesdays. But because Monday is happening, Tuesday will not be happening. So, that being said, next week we will only have the Friday show, and the Friday show will very likely be late because of my work schedule, because I had to take time off for the other things. So, that being said, that is all of the housekeeping we have. Let's go head first, shall we? So, music is starting us off like it do. We have our first update in music is from Metallica. They just posted a video of them performing via quarantine the song Blackened, and it's a really interesting acoustic-ish version of, acoustic-ish because James is the only one who's playing an acoustic guitar, but still really interesting, really liked it. And then not necessarily because of this, but simultaneously, there was released an interview with Lars where he's talking about the potential of seeing proper new music from Metallica. And it sounds like that is in the cards, but it really depends on how long everyone is locked down. Lars said in the interview that he can't say for certain it's going to happen, but if we're still locked down like this 6 months from now, there will very likely, if not definitely, be new music from Metallica. So, again, part of me is going, maybe we should be locked down a little longer. But that's also, again, me being in a comfortable position because I am still working. So, only because I want new content, not because I want people to be out of jobs. So that's what we have on that piece. Next, we are talking about Killswitch Engage. And Killswitch Engage just released a B-Sides EP. All of the money that they raise selling this EP is going to COVID-19 Relief Fund for the Centers for Disaster and Philanthropy. The record, or they're going to be releasing, rather. They just announced this. It will be officially released on May 8th. It's going to be called Atonement-2, the B-side. So it's a collection of 6 songs that they recorded during the Atonement sessions, and it's just 6 tracks that didn't make it on the record. I really want to listen to it. I have yet to do so, though it does look like we got at least a couple, 1 or 2 specifically, tracks on YouTube right now, so you can go listen to some new music from new, quote-unquote, new to you music by Killswitch Engage. That's all we have there. Next, we're talking about Guns N' Roses. Also, looks like they're going to be working potentially on new music during the quarantine. Not only that, but we actually have an update from Duff McKagan's wife, who was on the Appetite for Distortion podcast, and she said that they're working fastidiously. She sounded like she was really anxious to use those big words. They're working fastidiously on some really good new music. So not a whole lot of $5 words there, but there was one. So, but either way, that's really awesome. Duff and Slash and Axl and presumably Bumblefoot, because he's been in the news recently. I can't remember who's drumming for him right now, but I don't think that's really relevant because Slash and Duff and Axl are doing this music. So hopefully this will be the great record that we were all hoping for. And then we got Chinese democracy. That is all we have there. Next, we're talking about Slipknot. Most specifically, we're talking about guitar player Jim Root from Slipknot. He has also said that he wants to work on new music during the quarantine. He has said it in two different ways, though. First being that people have asked him in the past why he doesn't do a solo record, and his answer has usually been because of time and motivation, and now he has both in abundance, though he did say something about hitting some writer's block recently in the interview where he revealed this, so he is working on a solo record. Also, he is saying in these interviews that Slipknot is also going to be writing new material during the lockdown. So we are a little bit closer to getting a Slipknot record. Hopefully it's not going to take another 5 years for us to see something. Though if it does, the last record was impressive. So who am I to judge? Next, we're talking about Marilyn Manson. Manson is not working on new music during quarantine. He has actually finished new music during quarantine. And this is actually interesting in many ways, not only because a new Manson record, and Manson is saying you can't compare this to any of my previous work. And the last record sounds like he was trying to recreate Antichrist Superstar, so that's significant because he's gotten that out of his system. But he also has collaborated on this record with country singer Shooter Jennings. Very interesting combination of artists. Also, this will be the first new record for guitarist Paul Wiley, as well as drummer Brandon Pertzborn. Pertzborn. I said it right the first time. Who has drummed for Black Flag, Doyle, and Horror. So I don't know. I haven't really hotly anticipated a Marilyn Manson record for a number of releases from him. I would say the closest I got to being in anticipation for a new record from him was the last record because of the comparisons to Antichrist Superstar. While it was a pretty solid record, it was no Antichrist Superstar. So I'm very interested to see what kind of music can come out of a collaboration with Shooter Jennings. That just sounds all kinds of awesome. Next, we are talking about a little-known metal band that is super avant-garde and crazy awesome. They are called Behold the Octopus. They have not put out new music for some time. I believe their last record happened in 2007. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that was the last record. So this has been a long time coming. No, actually, it might have been 2010. Either way. So they're putting out a new record. The new record will be called, and they always have goofy names for their records, so I apologize if this sounds awkward, but Hapoleptic Overtrove is going to be the name of the record, and they released the first single off of the record, Forgotten Explanations. For those that don't know, if you are into extreme styles of music, if you're into heavy music, then Behold the Octopus is probably right up your alley. They are an instrumental metal band, though metal in the loosest sense of the word. It's just... We're going to do a reaction video to this first single from the record, so you can see, if you follow along with the channel, you can see what I'm talking about. They're really beyond description. Like, you can't quantify what it is that they do, and that is one of the reasons why I love them so much. So they're a little three-piece. I have super high expectations for this record, and we will get into that in the reaction analysis video for the first single. Again, first single called Forgotten Explanations. That is all we have for Behold the Octopus. Now we're to our final piece in music. See, I told you this is going to be a huge episode. Final piece in music is for a band called The Weapon. We're talking about this band because their vocalist is a very, very busy man in the music industry, Jesse Leach, also the vocalist for Killswitch Engage, and also doing this weird ambient thing with his girlfriend, fiance lady. I can't remember, something, the mind within or whatever. So he's doing Killswitch, he's doing the ambient music, and then he's also doing this punk rock band called The Weapon. They just released their first single called Slave State. No word yet on when or if they're even working on a full record to follow it. This is another video that we will likely be doing a reaction to in the very near future, so stay tuned to the channel for this. Don't know what to expect out of this. I know Jesse is very similar to Randy in that they both identify as punk rock kids before they're metalheads, so be interesting to see what that means inside of Jesse's head. That is all we have for music, though. Let's talk TV streaming. We have, actually, TV streaming might be our smallest section for the entire episode. It's about the same size as gaming and comic books. So both gaming, comic books are the same size-ish as TV streaming, though I bet TV streaming brings us a lot more conversation. First up in TV streaming, we have an update on The Flash. Grant Gustin was on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and they were discussing the hard fact, as Grant Gustin puts it, that Season 8 and Season 9 were in discussions before the lockdown, which means we are very likely going to be seeing at least one more season, though I would venture a guess to say that we're even more likely to see The Flash go for 10 seasons. So beyond 10, I feel like you're on borrowed time, but I think The Flash is strong enough to get up to Season 10. So that is pretty awesome that at least 8 and 9 are in the works. That's what we've got there, though. Next is a real quick one from The Terror. That has officially been renewed for a third season, though the premise for the new season has yet to be revealed. So there's that. Also in the vein of renewals, The Boys on Amazon has officially been renewed for its third season as well, long before we're likely to be seeing season 2. So they're just really, really excited about this show. And after watching season 1, I can understand why. This one, I would be surprised at this point, if nothing changes, I would be surprised if this doesn't go at least 5 seasons. So again, just the confirmation that we're at least getting into our third season is really reassuring for my conjecture there. That's all we have on that one. And then our final piece in TV streaming has to do with Spawn, and Spawn is going to be one that comes up a couple of times in this episode. So we have the Sam and Twitch live action series is being made. Todd McFarlane has said that a pilot is in the works. The script has been written by Kevin Smith. Apparently it is a spec script, though, so how much of Kevin Smith's writing will be in the end product very much remains to be seen, if any. But it is a thing that is happening. McFarlane has, it sounds like, some sort of money to do the filming of the pilot, and then once that's done, he's going to be shopping it around. But it also sounds like before the pilot is actually finished, he's already shopping it around to networks and platforms. So this one is very much in development. McFarlane is pushing real hard to take advantage of that longest running artist-owned comic book IP that the world record he just set. So that's pretty freaking cool. That is not, again, the last time we're going to be hearing from McFarlane and his number one creation. But first, we're going to transition into movies. I'm not going to be getting into the Spawn piece until the very end-ish of this section, so stay tuned all the way through. But starting us off is a little business in movies. We have the official announcement. I don't know, I heard it from a different place than my regular sources before I then confirmed this through my regular sources, that Universal Studios kind of just shot themselves in the foot. Universal Studios made a statement, a public press release or something, stating that they are, once everything starts to head towards a new normal, that they are going to continue to release their movies to video on demand, as well as their theatrical releases. Though we'll get into that in just a minute. So let's put a pin there. Hearing the announcement, AMC Movie Theaters, which is the largest theater chain in the country, though also the one that is the closest to bankruptcy right now, so kind of take with that what you will, AMC Theaters responded by saying they are not going to be playing Universal movies in their theaters once again we get back to some semblance of normal where we can go to movie theaters. There's this big long explanation for why they did this, but effectively they're just not going to do Universal movies because you can't do both. You can't have a theatrical release and a video on demand release. That's just not fair, basically, is what they said. So in following with that, at first, Cineworld, or Regal Cinemas specifically, said that, AMC's reaction was out of line and blah, blah, blah. But now Cineworld, who owns Regal Cinemas, has stated that they are going to be following suit with AMC. They will not be showing Universal Pictures movies in their theaters once we hit, again, a new normal, whatever that's going to look like, so that we can go to the theater. So very interesting. And then, so pulling the pin back out, in the official language of the release, they said that they're going to be doing video on demand as well when that platform makes sense. What exactly that means very much remains to be seen, but if they get enough movie theaters reacting the way AMC did, what that likely means is they're going to forego the time it takes to go from theater to physical home release. They're just going to go straight from theater to video on demand. This is just my conjecture. I doubt we will see many, if any, movies released both in theaters and on video on demand once we can go back to theaters, once theaters open back up for business. Because, again, they did put that language in their release saying that when it's appropriate or when it works. I can't remember exactly the wordage, but it's something along those lines. So if it doesn't work out monetarily for them to make money, then they're not going to do it. It's that simple. So very interesting piece to start off the movie section. Now we're moving over to Spy versus Spy. We just got the announcement that, I'm reading names. Rawson Marshall Thurber, who did Red Notice, is in talks with Imagine Entertainment to direct the Spy vs. Spy movie. Also in the announcement is that Ron Howard and Brian Glazer are on the production staff for this movie. So very interesting, very good direction to be starting off in with that production staff. And hopefully, I'm not super familiar with Rawson Marshall Thurber's work, but hopefully, because Ron Howard's name is attached to this, and honestly, Brian Glazer, that they'll find an appropriate director. We'll just leave it there. Next, we're talking about Spider-Man 3. We have Charlie Cox has done quite a few interviews recently, and has been squashing rumors about his appearance in Spider-Man 3. So, according to Cox, he is not going to be in the movie. That's not to say that Daredevil, the character of Daredevil, or even Matt Murdock won't be in it. It's just he's not going to be the one under the mask or the one behind the glasses. And it sounds like there was a rumor as well, and this isn't going to be in the rumor section, but there was a rumor as well that Feige is looking to recast the character. That, though, I think spawns from the comments that Charlie Cox is making in these interviews. So, at least we know that one rumor is not coming to fruition, though the rumor mill has kind of shifted away from Cox and over to She-Hulk being in Spider-Man. So, yeah, we're just going to move on. Next, we're talking about Transformers. We got another announcement for a director for this movie. Transformers is getting a prequel movie. It's going to be computer animated. Josh Cooley will be directing. It's also going to hopefully get a theatrical release, and it is going to be a prequel. Presumably, this has not been explicitly stated, though. It's been explicitly stated that it's not going to be a prequel to the Michael Bay movies. So again, presumably it will be a prequel to the original series, which is interesting. It's going to take place exclusively on Cybertron. And the script will be penned by Ant-Man and the Wasp writers Andrew Barner and Gabriel Ferrari. So that's also a great track to start out on. Next, we're talking about The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. The Stephen King book is getting a theatrical treatment. Christy Hall, who co-created I Am Not Okay With This on Netflix, has been brought in by Village Roadshow to write the script for the film adaptation. That is all that has been announced officially, so we don't know who production staff is, and we don't know if she's going to be directing as well as writing, though that does seem to be in the cards. Next, we're talking about Keanu Reeves. More specifically, his two big movies that were set to come out next year, namely Matrix 4 and John Wick 4. They were both, again, supposed to come out on the same day, which was May 4th of 2021. That has been changed, which was kind of inevitable. I feel like once it kind of made its rounds for a while, that we go, oh wait, no, we don't want to go against the Matrix. That's really like stupid, right? So John Wick has officially changed their release date for the theatrical release of the movie because they said this. There's been a number of reasons, but the initial reason that they said was because, well, Keanu has obligations to the Matrix before he has obligations to us, and so he's going to be filming the Matrix during the time we would have to be filming in order for us to make that May release. So because of that, they have moved back, and also because eventually it came out that they went, yeah, we kind of messed up, and we made that announcement and went, oh, we're gonna have to change this. So the new release date for John Wick 4 is almost an entire year back from where it is an entire year back. It went from May 21st of 2021 to May 22nd of 2022. That's where we sit there. Next, we're talking Spawn again. Like I said, that was not the only time we were hearing from Spawn, but also in these interviews that McFarlane has been doing, he has said that there is another 90-minute film in the works, animated again, much like the HBO series, though that's all he has said about it. He's doing some of the cell animation for the movie. It's very likely not going to be getting a theatrical release, but he is also shopping this one around to get proper funding to make it. But again, very much in the process of being made already on his own dime, because that's just the kind of dude Todd McFarlane is. And then our final piece for movies has to do with Disney, like we always do at least once. Hercules is the next movie on the slate to be live actionized. And then this is a growing list. I wish I had written down. I didn't have the room, though. So I wish I had written down all of the lists in order of where we're at right now with their live-action adaptations. But the Russos are officially going to be producing this movie. They will not be the Russos, as in the Russo brothers, as in the guys who made Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Those guys, they're going to be producing this for Disney, but they will not be directing because they have said that they will be too busy to direct, which again is going to start feeding rumors about why they're so busy. So now let's talk gaming. Gaming news, we have three pieces. All three are going to be relatively short. First up, we have Apex Legends Season 5. We just learned who the new legend is for Season 5. It's going to be a character named Loba, who is the surviving daughter of the family that we saw Revenant kill in the Season 4 teaser trailer. So no idea what her abilities are going to be, though they keep coming up with really interesting things for these characters to do. So that's why it is my battle royale game of choice right now. And that's all we have there, though. Next is an update on EVO 2020. We did talk briefly about the possibility of this happening before, and now it has officially been canceled. There will not be an EVO at all. That's not true. There will not be a physical EVO this year, though they are saying that they're working out details for a digital version of the event that will take place over the summer. So hopefully we get Mortal Kombat on there this year, but that's a whole other ball of yarn or wax or whatever. So next we're talking about Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk Alcatraz is apparently the next proper installment in the series, and this has been reportedly leaked, and I could have put this and potentially should have put this in rumors, but whatever. It has apparently been leaked by German retailer Gameware, who has leaked information like this in the past about other AAA titles. So not only are we going to be very likely seeing an updated version of both the first games this generation, but also the release date for this game, the Alcatraz game. Sorry, I just lost my spot. The release date for the Alcatraz game is reportedly going to be October 30th, and it is going to be released on current and next generation consoles. So we very well could have 3 Tony Hawk games for this generation of consoles, which could be honestly really great. If nothing else, it'll be great to have the original 2 on my Xbox One, because that was some high quality gaming. Now that is everything we've got gaming. Next, move over to comic books. Just huge episode, guys. I'm trying to go fast, I promise. So comic books, we have one update from Marvel. Marvel is going to be sending books out, much like DC made the announcement 2 weeks ago. Marvel is now officially making the announcement. May 27th will be the first date that they ship new books. Also will be the first date that new digital editions will be made available if you subscribe digitally. Starting out, the first shipment is going to be just 5 books, and then the following week they're bumping it up to 7 books, and then the week after that, it looks like they're wanting to get back to roughly business as normal. But we'll see how that sticks, because people still aren't leaving the house. So very likely their digital sales are going to skyrocket. I don't know how physical sales are going to do right now. It could be a good move to get people back to normal. It could be a bad business decision. I don't know just yet. Next, we are switching gears over to DC. We're talking about a new book called The Lost Carnival over on DC. This book is going to be exclusively a graphic novel, meaning that they're going to be releasing the entire story all at once. Instead of releasing it in floppy issues, it's going to be one big illustrated book, one big graphic novel. It's going to be about Dick Grayson, and not just about Dick Grayson, but Dick Grayson as a kid before he becomes Batman's ward, before he becomes Robin. So Dick Grayson as part of the Flying Graysons, as part of the carnival. Very interesting ground to be telling stories in, though not one that I feel like a lot of older readers are going to be interested in necessarily, which kind of pays off, because this is apparently going to be a young adult graphic novel. So very interesting. The book, if you are interested in reading it, the book is set to be released this week, May 5th. That's all we have for that stuff, guys. Let's talk rumors. Rumors. First and foremost, we're talking about Ultimatum. Now, there are a number of rumors about what this is going to be, but there have been some hints dropped on the social medias from people in power over at Marvel and the MCU to kind of tease Ultimatum. Now, Ultimatum means 2 different things in comic books. It could mean the really mediocre story that we got from Jeff Loeb in the mid to late aughts. Or it could be the underground liberated, totally integrated mobile army to unite mankind, which happened in the 80s. there's rumors about both of these happening in the MCU, specifically starting with the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, though the more credible rumors are saying that it is going to be the Mobile Army version and not the Jeff Loeb story version. Though somehow both rumors are kind of lending a little bit towards Doctor Doom being the one behind them, so that could be a very interesting introduction to that character. But if we do get the Doctor Doom angle, then that might also swing us a little bit further into the Loeb story that maybe shouldn't be adapted to film. I don't know. It's just a rumor. We're gonna move on. That's how we got there. Next, we're talking about Namor. There are more rumors about Namor, the Submariner, being introduced into the MCU in the very near future. Now we have a very interesting timeline that they're apparently going to be following. First, he's going to be lightly introduced somehow in the Eternals, which is the initial set of rumors, and then we're going to see him again in Doctor Strange 2, and then we're going to see him in a larger, more predominant role in Black Panther 2 as the main villain. Again, this is kind of a rumor to tie together all of the rumors that we've been hearing about Namor over the last few months. So it kind of seems a little too tidy, and also kind of seems a little too busy to be everything that they're trying to make it sound like. Though I do believe we're going to see him in Eternals. I believe there will be some sort of cameo of some sort, be it in the post-credit scene or what have you. And then I also believe there is a strong possibility for him to be in Black Panther 2. The Doctor Strange 2, I don't know how that one sits. Next in rumors, we're talking about The Flash. There is a recasting going on in Camp Flash for the movie, the Muschietti-directed movie. And it's not who you think. It's not, in fact, Barry Allen. How it does seem to be Iris, though. Iris West is rumored to be getting the recasting treatment. The original actress who played her, that wasn't in the official cinematic release of the Justice League, but apparently was in the director's cut of the Justice League. I didn't see the director's cut. I have the director's cut, and I just haven't watched it. Yeah, that's how much I liked it. Kiersey Clemens, who played the role originally, apparently still can be in this role. She just has to fight to keep it. Again, this is just a rumor. Don't know how true it is. I don't know how much leg this one has, again, because if they're going to recast anyone in this movie, I feel like it's going to be Ezra Miller. But we don't know that for certain. We just know they want to make the dang movie. Next, we're talking about Deadpool 4. That's right. There are rumors about Deadpool 4, and we haven't even officially been announced for a Deadpool 3 yet. Deadpool 4, though, because if you are Marvel Cinematic Universe, then you have to be planning years and years and years ahead, right? So the rumor goes that in Deadpool 4, they want it to be a team-up movie between Deadpool and Spider-Man. This one doesn't have a lot of legs for multiple reasons, but this one has the most fan excitement, I would imagine, because that is a thing that happened in the comic books. So if you put Tom Holland and Ryan Reynolds in a movie together as their costumed superhero versions, I would imagine you're going to get a lot of fanboy love. That being said, that's all we really have on that one. Next, we're moving over to Ghost Rider. We have more rumors. This is just the episode of follow-up rumors, I guess. More rumors about Ghost Rider. Now, apparently, the rumors are stating that it is all but official that Keanu Reeves is going to be playing Ghost Rider, and not just any Ghost Rider, but the Johnny Blaze version of Ghost Rider in the MCU in the very near future, probably somewhere mid-Phase 5. That's what we've got on that one. We have 2 rumors left to go, and then we're finally to the end of this long episode. Next is a rumor about Zack Snyder. Not the Snyder Cut, though, because of the Snyder Cut, it would seem, Warner Brothers is rumored to be playing with the idea to give Snyder a new DC property to direct. What property that might be, who knows? If this is a stand-in, who knows? But the rumor does go on to say that if this happens, it will not be a proper DCEU movie. It will be one of their quote-unquote black label movies, much like The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix was. This will be another movie that doesn't have any larger effect on the other movies at all. Because of the nature of Snyder's previous work in the DCEU and how it has split the fan base so hard, presumably that's why they want, if they're going to give him a movie, it will be a black label movie. So that is what we have there. Now we're talking just a real quick one for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as we're heading out the door. We have new rumors saying that not only are they looking to bring Schwarzenegger in, but also Harrison Ford. Only the difference will be Harrison Ford will be a legitimate villain in Volume 3, if the rumors are to be believed. And that is the end of the episode, guys. What did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? There's a lot here, so I don't know that I missed a whole lot, but let's have the conversation either way down in the comment section below. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to click the subscribe button, ring the bell so you get the notifications and all that jazz. There is a website if you want to go deeper into this conversation. You can join me over on generallynerdy.net. You can see all of the other written work and all that stuff. Or if you want to help support in a more direct fashion, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. You get back episodes, all of the audio episodes, everything going back for a little while. You get additional content, even just for $1. There is still even more additional content. So go check out Generally Nerdy on Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. So, again, subscribe. You can see the 2 boxes right here below my face. Click those to see other stuff that's going on the channel. Don't forget to, again, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Works similarly, but not the same. Comments are better. And before we go, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.